The one right in your eyes?
The one right in your eyes.
Yeah, overhead? That's the projector.
Oh, that's fortunate. Maybe we'll project.
I wonder, could we move the table?
We could shift the table.
Could just shift move over a little.
You get the third degree.
Testing. Awesome. Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the Two Rivers City Council Candidate Forum hosted by the Two Rivers Business Association.
Hello.
Testing. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. I love technology. Welcome to the City of Two Rivers City Council Candidate Forum hosted by TRBA, the Two Rivers Business Association. My name is Chad Nagle of Clifton Larson Allen, and I will be the moderator for today's forum. Just wanted to throw a little information about the Two Rivers Business Association before we get started. The group was founded in 1968 as a way to bring businesses together within the city of Two Rivers and to help create a collaborative networking environment for our city businesses, and for our businesses to not only thrive but throw ideas off of each other and have an overall successful community within the city. We meet on the first Thursday of each month at 7:30 a.m. at Pool City Brewing if you are interested in attending. We threw up a couple of benefits of joining TRBA, which I went through a little bit to have the opportunities for businesses to share information, network, and collaborate in a fun and engaging environment. And help to improve the business climate for our members and encourage economic growth within the city of Two Rivers. Tonight's forum will have a focus on business and economic development. I will read prepared questions to the candidates, and each will have 2 minutes for their responses. Pam Origin of American Family Insurance, sitting front and center, will be our timekeeper and will alert you at time. So each question will have plus or minus 10 minutes, a couple of minutes additional for any sort of follow-ups or clarifications. The candidates have been informed of the general concepts of the questions to be asked tonight, but have not been given the questions in advance. To start, we would like everybody to just introduce themselves and help to tell us a little bit about themselves. On the next slide, we have a couple of points. If you'd like to have some ideas on what you'd like to cover, potentially your goals in the role of City Council, what the role of City Council means to you, what would distinguish you, your skills and experience with the community involvement, consensus, how do you stay informed about current events. You can cover any, you can cover all, you don't have to cover any. But we would like to tell everybody a little bit about themselves. From my wheels spinning for opening statements, the first one chosen was Andrew Quackenbush.
Hello. Hello, my name is Andrew Quackenbush. I am a resident of Two Rivers for the last 6 years. My wife, my daughter, my son, and our niece who we have custody of we're lucky enough to make this home. I work at Red Arrow, which is Carry Ingredients now, the old smoke facility. I've been a production supervisor for the last 6 years. Through them, I have been put to the LTC Servant Leadership course, and and I manage some materials, budgets, labor, and machine cost analysis through our company. I come from a small town in Michigan, Copper Harbor. It's way up north. A lot of people don't know about it. We are strictly a small area that resides completely on tourism as our main income. We don't have the neighboring town with the manufacturing. So I'm hoping to bring, with my manufacturing experience, my cost analysis, budgets, and cost centers. Also, what we do up in that area to kind of help bring in tourism, foster small businesses, and let growth happen through the people. My experience with public service is my father was part of the village boards and finance and utilities mainly. We didn't have the opportunity to have stuff like the Rotary Club and whatnot there. So, and he was also a political science major, so public service and politics were strong in our household. I'm hoping to help bring a voice to the constituents, not saying that's the main thing that city council does. We let the voice of the people be heard, and we are a trusted elected official who makes decisions for the best of our town. But thank you very much.
Awesome. Thank you, Andrew. Our next candidate is Shannon Derby.
How convenient. Hello, everybody. I'm Shannon Derby. I'm running for city council, obviously. I'm a mother of 3. They're all, my youngest just turned 18. Let's see, my goals is to make sure our city of Two Rivers stays great and continues growing at a sustainable rate. What distinguishes me from other candidates is that I have my bachelor's degree in leadership. I have been a sign language interpreter for over 15 years, and now I work at the Eggers division of VT Industries here in town, where I'm on the negotiating team for our union, Local 2089, and I'm very active within that union. For as far as time commitments, my kids are 18 and above now, so I am a lot freer than I was, so I thought I would take on some more stress and start running for city council candidates, or city council seat. So one of my main things that I am running on is community involvement, and I think that we have a great community. We have a lot of involvement with the different festivals and trivia nights and things that we do here. And I would like to make sure that everybody has access to getting information about current events. So things that are happening in our town, that there's ways to get that information to each and every individual and not just in our Facebook or in our utility bills, but something that everybody could see, read, different languages, those kind of things, because diversity and cultural awareness and inclusivity are also part of my platform. Thank you.
Thank you, Shannon.
Up next, we have
Hi, I'm Jeff Dalkey. I've been living in Two Rivers since 2017, where I moved here with my wife. In 2020, we moved my daughter here with her 3 kids. It was a nice city, so that's where we decided that we should all reside as a family. It's kind of nice because everything's pretty close, and she's like a mile and a half from us, so kids are old enough now, they walk back and forth to grandma's house quite a bit. What I think distinguishes me most than other people on the council is I get out a lot and I talk to a lot of people, and a lot of my information I get, and I know some people don't like it, but if you watch enough Facebook, that is where a lot of the happenings are going on, and you can kind of sort through everything that's going on. And when you start talking to people, I mean, I get several comments from people every single week, and that's why I'm not afraid to get out there and answer the questions. Let's see. My time commitments, that's not a big deal. I'm semi-retired, so I'm home quite a bit. I had worked for the past few years, but I didn't have any issues. I would just take the days off work that I needed to because they're pretty flexible and they understood the importance of local government. Currently, for the past 2 years, I was the chairman of the Personnel Finance Committee so we were handling the city budget, trying to maintain everything and making sure everything was paid for, the needs were taken care of, and as well as getting some of the wants that we need, because no matter what you say, at the end of the day, you still have to have some wants. The disagreements part, that's just one of those things you just gotta walk through. I mean, you gotta talk to people, understand their side, don't be strong-headed. And 'cause there's been times, I mean, that I've had people talk to me and I did not agree with what they did, but if a majority of the people still disagree with me, if it comes to a vote, that's how I vote. That's just the way it is because I'm always for the majority. Man, I guess that's about it. So, and after, at the end of the day, I mean, I just love this city, that's why we moved here. We were at an event, and Kathy said, you know, this place is just like where I grew up in Boston, so it's just like being on the water without the cost of the East Coast. So that's how we ended up here. We were at Applefest, I believe. So, thank you everybody for coming. Lisa, thank you for taking care of everything again. Thank you.
Thank you, John. Our next candidate is Doug Brandt.
Hello, my name is Doug Brandt. I'm originally from Appleton, Wisconsin, and I moved here in 2007, married my wife Wendy, and together we have 6 children and 6 grandchildren. For experience, I work remotely as an engineering designer for a large civil engineering firm based in Detroit. I've been doing that job for about 36 years. There's a lot of stress on problem solving, team building, time and budget management. So I have a lot of experience there, as well as, you know, in the occasional, we should do it that way, we should do it this way, dispute resolution. So I'm fairly versed in all of those aspects of what the council would entail. I'm involved in the community through several organizations. I'm a member of the EAB, the Environmental Advisory Board, which kind of takes under advisement environmental issues and works with the Department of Public Works. I'm also a longtime member of the Cool City Crime Prevention Committee. We work with the police department mainly for public relations events and like National Night Out and we get involved with Shop with the Cop and Coffee with the Cop. So I'm in touch with the community through those venues. And my focus for Two Rivers is basically quality of life, and that touches a lot of different aspects, infrastructure, you know, recreational activities and things like that. So that would be a main focus to improve and continue the quality of life for all the residents here. Thank you.
Thank you, Doug. And last but not least, we have Mark Bittner.
Thank you. Thank you to the Two Rivers Business Association for putting on the event tonight. Thank you for everyone in attendance and those people watching. It's important. You see there's a lot of good candidates up here, and it's great that they're volunteering their time to serve on City Council. My name is Mark Bittner. I graduated from the University of Wisconsin La Crosse, and 2 things happened. Probably 2 of the best things happened. Gave me a background in business management, but more importantly, I met the love of my life, my wife Betty, and I married her shortly after so she wouldn't get away. We've raised 3 kids, we have 5 grandkids, we've lived here about the last 20 years. Both Betty and I are very active in the community. It's a great place to live, and we're committed to Two Rivers long term and want to see the future and the culture of Two Rivers continue. Previously, I was on City Council, so I understand what it takes. It's involved, there's a lot of information available, and if you want to really get involved, a lot of the work happens at the committee level, and I was active in the committee too, pursuing a number of things. I also was chairman of the Personnel Finance Committee, did a lot of pilot things, perpetuated a lot of growth, utilized some of the tools that are available to the Finance Committee to grow our city. Big advocate of TIP. That's a proposition that helps businesses establish themselves in the community. It does not take anything away from our current tax base or tax dollar. It's an opportunity to bring new businesses to the business, and it's immediate impact on the community because it brings new people who buy food, water, and activities in our community that help and positive. I also would utilize my skills in budgeting and forecasting based on my career opportunities where I was vice president of several very large consumer product companies. The ones that I'm most proud of would be Miro, working with 5 different unions, successfully operating a business. Goody Hair Care, I went from pots and pans to brushes and combs. It's a lot easier to travel with samples than with Miro. And I ended up also spent time with Rival Crockpots, America's #1 wedding gift in the United States. I was a consultant for an international company, and I also owned my own company exporting and importing products from overseas for 5 years. I was the largest employer at the time. We utilized Ascender Holiday House at that time, and we were the 3rd largest employer. So not only did we provide a business base, I got a lot of experience traveling internationally, but provided employees for a very good cost. I want to be back on city council because I want to share my time, my energy, and my background with Two Rivers becoming a better place and a great place to live. It's a wonderful city. Betty and I have lived in 9 different cities during my career, and we love Two Rivers, and it's a great community. I think I can help continue the growth of Two Rivers by maintaining the culture of its past, but adding more businesses, activities to the community, exploiting our natural resources, and creating more opportunities for housing people to come to the city and growth for jobs in the future to allow their younger generations to stay in the city. I'm getting signal, my time's running out, so with that I'll end. Thank you. Oh, and I want to say one last thing. For those of you out in the audience who ever want to contact me and ask any questions, my telephone number is 920-242-6724. Call me anytime, leave a message if I don't answer you immediately, and I'll answer your questions. Thank you.
Thank you, Mark, and thank you to all of our candidates. Now we are going to move on to our questions for the evening. With the mic down here with Mark, we will start this way and go back the other way. That just worked out very well. Our first question of the night is, what homework did you do? When preparing for tonight's forum, what did you do to familiarize yourself with the issues and the needs of specifically the business community within Two Rivers? Who did you talk to? What did you read? Mark, you are first. Your 2 minutes begins.
Basically, in addition to my daily routine where I watch news and read newspapers every single day, I contacted some key people in the community that have knowledge of different events that I was not familiar with. I attended a lot of city council meetings. I read the past notes in the community on city council, what's going on. I revisited some of the activities that I think are explosive growth opportunities, like the developments that are coming to new apartment complexes. I asked questions from our finance department about different issues I had about the amount of TIFs that are still available to our community. And I also asked the status of the Old Hamilton property, which is a 70-acre vacant lot across the city hall. I talked to some of my close friends, some of my associates that work on city council about current things that are going on. And I'm excited for the opportunity to get re-involved. I think I can make a difference and commit my time, energy, and past resources to moving us forward as a community. As I said, I've lived all over the country, so I've seen a lot of positive things in other areas. I have a lot of other ideas I've seen by owning homes in different parts of the country. But we got a great thing going, and I want to keep the momentum and build the future of Two Rivers if I'm re-elected to City Council. Thank you.
Thank you, Mark. Doug?
Okay, to prepare for this candidacy, I've talked to current and former council persons. I have talked to the city manager about some issues, and I've done a lot of research on my own. The League of Women Voters candidate forum, Dave Waggy came up and spoke. He's from Formrite, and said he couldn't keep employees or find employees either. And so I really delved into that to kind of, see what his business was about and what other businesses were available in Two Rivers. And just looking on the Two Rivers City website under the manufacturers, there were 21 businesses, and most of them are looking for employees. So it's a good job market here, and hopefully we can do something to attract some more people and build some more houses for people to live in. So thank you.
Thank you, Doug. John?
I didn't necessarily talk to any individual businesses per se coming into this, but for the past 3 years being on council, everything kind of came in organically. But then as you did say about the whole, talking with the gentleman from Formrite, part of the problem I do believe with getting employees is there's a definite need for childcare, and it's very difficult for a person to get out there when childcare is not affordable. My 9-year-old granddaughter, we were driving down Washington Street, and she seen the M&M building, and she said, "Grandma, when I grow up," she said, "can I buy that building?" And we said, "Absolutely." She said, "What do you want that for?" I said, "Well, there's no daycare in town, and how are people supposed to work if there's no daycare?" And this is coming from a 9-year-old girl who has insight enough to realize that. And I do believe that's one of the biggest things. I don't know how we can do that as a city to help businesses, but I think it's something that might need to get looked at a lot harder, because if you don't have your daycare, you're taking out a good percentage of your workforce. That's all I got.
Thank you, John. Shannon?
Can you put the question back up? So the first thing I did for preparing for tonight was to learn about the TIF and TID districts more, because last year, yeah, okay, you just looked at me. I wanted to make sure, because last year I got tripped up on that question. I didn't want it to happen again this year. I'm still not super familiar, but I at least know what they are and what they mean. Childcare is something that is a crisis here. It's not affordable. It's very hard to get into, and it's not just our area, but Manitowoc area as well. So it is something I have. No, I didn't steal your idea. And then affordable housing, and that goes along with decent wages, a company that does care about their employees, somebody that's paying a living wage, somebody that's enticing their employees to stay for that longevity. Where I work, it's called the graveyard, because nobody wants to leave, because our benefits are good, our pay is good. We're treated with respect at our job. So I think those are really big things, and if we have those in our local businesses, then people will stay and they'll want to stay in this community and call it home. The other big growing demographic is the work from home people. So those that are able to work from home maybe want to buy a house here in this wonderful community, and then they can be eating at our restaurants and going to our grocery stores and buying gas at our gas stations that are right here locally in Two Rivers. So I think those are all important things to sustain and encourage growth going forward. Thank you.
Thank you, Shannon. Andrew?
So to prepare myself for these forums, the first thing I did was I watched several hours of previous forums from the last couple of years, which was tedious. But no, I wanted to prepare myself for some of the questions and what a lot of the citizens had asked previously. I did not talk to any specific business owners when I was out knocking on doors, but I did have several communicate to me through my Facebook page, specifically for the city council running. I also researched the TID and TIF because I saw that was a common question throughout the years. And it's a great tool that our city has to help kind of enhance development. But those were the main focuses that I did when I was researching to prepare myself for this evening. Thank you.
Thank you, Andrew. Our next question tonight, and we'll start in the middle of the chat. Okay. Representing the needs of the business community, how would you, as a city council member, ensure that the needs of specifically our business community are represented on the city council?
Basically by just listening to the business owners, you come to us, ask us the questions, and we can help try to solve the problems. Not that we can, but at least we have the possibilities to be able to sit down and talk with people, understand what they need, and then we can take it from there on the city level. The hardest part is actually to get people to come to the city and say, hey, we need help. That door needs to be opened and it needs to stay open. Even businesses in town sometimes feel that they're not really being heard, and that's unfortunate, but I do believe that everybody on council will actually talk to everybody, because it does not matter to us who we're talking to. It is our duty, it is our job to make sure that everybody is heard. Businesses, individuals, everybody. But as far as for the businesses, by all means, feel free to come to the city. Email us. Email us individually, because otherwise you can create a walking forum, but we don't want to go into that. But yeah, individually email all of us. You can text us, message us, we don't care. We are there for you. So anything that you need, we're there.
Thank you, Jeff. We'll go to you right with Shannon.
So one of the issues right now that city council is dealing with is the vinyl signs on the sidewalk. And I'm not sure what city council can do for each individual business, but I do see that they're working towards a plan for those vinyl signs. They're all up there discussing it. They're looking at what can be done for the future of our city and the vinyl signs that are on the sidewalk. So I want to be a part of that. I think I would, want to listen and be a part of that problem solving. What can we do? Should we allow it? What kind of vinyl? What is the lifetime use of it? Should everybody have one? Those are all the questions that I see our team working together with. And unfortunately, I'm not on city council yet, so I don't have any insider information, but I just see that our team can work together, and I really appreciate that aspect of it. So I look forward to hearing from business owners and employees and employers if I get on council. Thank you.
Thank you. Pleasure.
So, also the last meeting that I attended for city council was about these vinyl signs. What I see is sometimes the regular citizen who does not have a business or interest on Main Street might not have the same viewpoint or outlook, and like Mr. Dalkey had mentioned, it's very imperative that you communicate your concerns and your outlook to city council members, so when things go up to forum or open discussion with the population, that we can communicate. If you don't feel comfortable up yourself showing up and taking your 2 minutes to speak, we can communicate for you different viewpoints, and then we can have an open discussion, an honest, like both sides of the story, and see if we can come together to make something that is beneficial for everybody involved. Besides that, I think that is the main reason, that is the main ability that city council has to facilitate those discussions, but it also takes everybody to communicate with us if we get elected. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Andrew. And we'll pass on for Doug.
All right, I am very pro-business in attitude. I think all of the tools that the city and the city planner has to offer businesses, the TIF and the rolling loan fund, and I think they're all great tools, and I would support them wholeheartedly. Recently, there has been a couple developers that wanted to apply for grants using the city as the pass-through. 100% support that. Whatever we can do to help developers get a leg up on it is great. The grants cost the city nothing other than maybe a little administration time. So that would be an easy thing to do. And the city does have a couple business incubators that are currently full. But again, that's a concept that I support 100%, and would maybe we could expand, maybe we could get the industrial park going a little more. I always hear people, you know, bemoaning the fact that Hamilton's is gone, and the chances of us getting another large employer is pretty slim. I would personally rather have 10 to 20 mid-sized employers like Formrite or BT Industries. Basically, you know, you don't want to put all your eggs in one basket, to coin a phrase, so. Thank you.
Thank you, Doug. And Mark?
A lot of positive comments, and I agree with most of them. It is tough to get a replacement for a company like Hamilton or for Manitowoc to find a replacement for Miro, because it's very competitive. The bigger communities have so much more than what we have. But we still have to work to support the downtown businesses, Main Street. I do that by wherever we can. We shop predominantly when available with commodities we want in Two Rivers. And my wife does a better job than I do, but she spends time and effort here, and we need to do that as all citizens. We look at our businesses and try to support it. I also think, and Kevin and I were talking before this session, I think we need to figure out ways. We have a great history and track record of festivals, but we need to figure out ways to integrate the festival activity into more of the businesses downtown, so we get the benefit of the traffic of these festivals to patronize the businesses downtown. And I would be an advocate of that. I'd be an advocate of utilizing the tools we have available now. The grant, as you said, a great opportunity, because the grant money that we use comes from states. There's state money and opportunities to get money from outside of our tax bill and our budget itself internally, to take that grant money and help businesses like the Department of Development that is coming to town here. So those are what are tools. The revolving loan fund is specifically designed to help promote business activities, and we need to be aggressive and help bring those ideas to people who may not be aware of it or familiar. As a city, we've underutilized our TIF districts. We're less than 50% of the level of achievement that we could use. So we could double our activity and still be within the state parameters of TIP. That brings new businesses, funding, it brings population, it brings disposable income and expenditures immediately to the community. And for those of you who think we might have too high a water bill, which occasionally we hear that, and it is higher, which that's a fixed cost. What we need is more people using that fixed cost. Just up to it.
Thank you. Thank you, everybody. Our next question primarily focuses on the downtown of Two Rivers. Do you believe that our Main Street, our downtown, our Washington Street is healthy and successful? If you think it is healthy, how would you help to make it better? And if you don't necessarily agree, what steps would you take to help turn it around? We'll start with
Just pretend I'm not here.
Yes, I believe our Main Street has improved leaps and bounds in the last few years. Exciting new stores, new restaurants, a great Main Street office to go and get information on. I think we could improve. There's a few vacant storefronts, a jewelry store that's empty now. I don't know if council could do anything to recruit businesses other than support the development. Elizabeth. And again, any incentives financially for new businesses, I would support 100%. So, thank you.
Thank you, Doug. And we will go to Mark next.
I think our business community, our owners of businesses, are trying very hard and working hard to be successful. So I commend everybody for that. I also think our Main Street, our new office on Main Street is a beneficial development for a community. The communication you're getting out of that Main Street office is remarkable compared to some of our past procedures. I think there are still more ways we can continue and help as a city council help the community grow, and that's to advertise and promote ourselves, to promote the advantages, to focus in on the real estate opportunities, because like it or not, the M&M was mentioned, that's a private development, and we as city council can't snap our fingers and change it into a business. But what we can do is we can work to make sure they're aware of all the tools available. The outside agencies are aware of opportunities and locations within the community, like Main Street or M&M. It's available, and perhaps draw someone from outside the community to fill our vacant buildings. I also think we could work closely to cross-coordinate other events, festivals and things to enhance the downtown business. And I think we could make an effort to all shop more locally whenever possible to help the truly successful businesses we have in place right now. Thank you.
Thank you, Mark. We will pass it down to Jeff.
As of right now, I do believe there's only maybe a handful, maybe 6 stores fronts that are available. Okay. And so far we're doing pretty good. I know when we first came into town, and Dave and I was talking about it for Apple Fest in 2016, almost they were pretty similar at that time. And we had a slight dip there, well, probably a pretty drastic dip. It was, I don't know, a couple of years ago, and there were a lot of vacant storefronts again. But everything started on an uptick. I don't know that there's so much that the city council can do, or city government in general, but word gets out when everything is full, and it seems to stay that way. If there's somebody new, I don't think there would be anything wrong with the city helping them in some way, some shape or form. And, you know, I do believe back in that time, there was a program that was out there to help them start. And I think we need to relook at that again and see if we can get that just to finish filling them up, because it would be so nice to have every single one of those businesses filled up again. We're close, but we're not quite there yet. But for the most part, I think businesses are doing quite well on Main Street, and whatever we're doing is working.
Thank you, Jeff. We'll go to Shannon.
Okay, I think our downtown area, our Main Street area is a lot healthier than when I moved here 15 years ago. 15 years ago, it wasn't what it is today, and I'm very happy that I can shop locally, more so than I could 10 years ago, because everything is now available, including a bookstore. So those are really healthy things that I really enjoy seeing Two Rivers prosper with. They mentioned festivals and working with the businesses on Main Street to promote some of that. I agree, especially for Ethnic Fest. We have some ethnic restaurants. How can we incorporate them more into the board that creates Ethnic Fest, so that we make sure that we're not excluding anybody? Okay. So I'm very proud of the growth that Two Rivers has had. Like you said, there's only 6 vacant storefronts. I know somebody's looking into having a bike shop and taking over the remaining part of Cleveland Cycle and getting her own bike shop up and running. So that is a positive going for Two Rivers. So then we'd be down to 5. And anytime we can have that, it's always a good thing. Starting a new business is very scary. And if we can make housing affordable and childcare accessible, then I think we can have a good recipe to have other businesses come to our area. Thank you.
Thank you, Shannon. And Andrew.
So, like I said, I'm relatively new, to the Two Rivers area, but I think that the downtown is doing pretty good. There's lots of shops and options. There's things that you don't need to travel to Manitowoc to get. I do think though to further develop it, that kind of falls under the purview of the Department of Economic Development, where the City Council then would vote on any comprehensive plans that they put together. We could make a board that partners with things like the TRBA, where we could get a comprehensive amount of information, whether it's grants, low to no interest loans, and kind of disseminate that to the incubators or small business startups, and see if we can't get them to pick up a storefront. But that is the main things that I would think of off the top of my head that would help.
Thank you, Andrew. Our next question focuses on Two Rivers and the talent pool. The average age for residents of Two Rivers and Manitowoc County as a whole is increasing, and young people, including Generation Z, are deciding to start careers by leaving the area. As a city council member, what steps would you like to take, or what would you like to see to help to reverse this trend? For this, we will start with Shannon.
Well, when I was young, I thought that I really wanted to leave this area, and I couldn't wait to get out, and here I am. So, I think if people realize what a great area we have, affordable housing compared to bigger cities, the job opportunities that we do have within our community and surrounding areas is really good. And I think people have big city dreams until they live in the big city and they're like, holy geez, this is not for me. I need to move back, hometown. Things are way better in Two Rivers. It's a safe place to raise a family. It's a safe, loving community. It's a tight-knit community. You see what we're doing, all the efforts in for Elijah tonight. We're here because of that with no problem, because we are such a tight-knit community. And when people leave and then they're looking to settle down somewhere, I think Two Rivers should be a viable option for those people, especially if we have good wages, affordable housing, and childcare. Those are things that we need to promote. I don't know what the city council can do for that, but it's something that we really need to take a look at because we do need to have people stay here. So it's, because we're missing a lot of that Gen Z not middle age, that's me, younger middle-aged people like 25 to 35 to stay here because they think that they want to be somewhere else. But reality, Two Rivers is actually a really hot, cool city to be in.
Thank you, Shannon. Andrew?
So this is a tough one. Kids are going to want to get away from their hometown, but I think that maybe we could, and I could go back to, we could do an outreach for the youth before they escape and kind of show them the positives of our small town living, the opportunities that we can provide for them or help them with. I know that Two Rivers High School does do some apprenticeships locally. We could have them meet with like the high schoolers, the graduates coming in, maybe talk to city council, get to meet people and also some of the organizations in town and help show them what we have here and that they're not going to have when they leave. Thank you.
Thank you, Andrew. Jeff?
As far as how to try to get them to stay here once they're graduated, that's pretty tough to do because everybody wants to spread their wings. I know I stayed in my hometown for a good 15 years, I believe, and I thought, well, you know what, I'm going to have to spread my wings a little bit finally, so I did. I moved. I lived in Indianapolis, Dayton, Pennsylvania, in Pittsburgh, Cincinnati. I mean, I was all over. But then at the end of the day, there's no place like home. I don't know that we necessarily need to keep them here in the beginning. We need to let them grow and be independent. But we just need to get them to come back. Not just to come back, but I mean, you know, come back, bring others with them. I think that's the main thing that we need to do. How to do it, I have no idea. It's a tough one to try and decipher through. But if we can get them to come back, because truly, I mean, I've worked all over the country and there is still no place like home. There's no place like this Lake Shore. Everything that we have in the country is here. I traveled abroad. Everything that we have throughout the world is in the United States. So everything is here. We need them to come back if they do leave. But as far as having them stay right from the beginning, we need to let them grow.
Thank you, Jeff. Doug?
Yeah, I'm really torn on this subject. I myself, as a young man, left Appleton for Boulder, Colorado. Gained a lot of experience there and eventually came back home to Wisconsin with a great career. But I realized that this was the place to be. I love the seasons. I mean, it's just a beautiful place. And the flip coin now, I actually work for a company out of Detroit, right here in Two Rivers. So it's hard to imagine living in Detroit. And on the flip side of the coin, we have two sons that live locally, and one works in Johnsonville and one works in Appleton, and they typically drive every day or, you know, work from home. And I think that's a good possibility for younger kids. And Two Rivers is a great place to raise a family, and I think if they realize that. I agree with Jeff in the fact that you're not going to be able to get everybody to stay, but hopefully they'll want to come back and raise their kids in the same hometown that they were raised in. So, thank you.
Thank you, Doug. Finally, Mark?
A lot of good comments so far. It's tough to turn the arrow to get a young person to stay here, but I think as a member of City Council, we can promote the assets that we do have. I like the idea of starting at the high school level, getting them involved in technical opportunities and local companies so that when they do graduate, they don't necessarily have to go to college, but they can find a job locally. We can promote that. We can do that as a city council. The greatest strength that we have is our natural resources in this area. We have an abundance of natural, beautiful things that are not found in other communities. And we need to promote those, we need to talk about those, we need to get programs that get these kids more involved. Canoeing and kayaking is a big passion for me. So I started the Canoe and Kayak Trail. It's a wonderful gift that we have. We have over 19 miles of beautiful rivers with two distinctive paths up each river. And it's a real gift that we have. We need to promote that and get more people to use it. Our hiking trails, Betty and I love to hike. And there's so much beautiful places that in a matter of 5 minutes, you can be outside our city and you feel like you're in the middle of nowhere. We need to talk about these assets and promote it to get not only the local kids to stay, but to get people from outside the community to come in and enjoy the benefits of these resources that we have. We need to work on housing, make sure we have opportunities for affordable housing for the younger people so they can find places to live. And we need to constantly leverage our RLF, revolving loan fund, that we have to bring more business, create jobs, and take advantage of other financial tools that we have and resources in the community to attract more businesses, opportunities for jobs in this community. It's a great place. I love the Explore Two Rivers program because it celebrates our heritage and actively promotes all the things that make us different as a community. So thank you.
Thank you, Mark. And thank you to all the candidates. Our next question involves benchmarking. When looking at Two Rivers, what other cities would you look to or would like to discuss ideas with as inspiration or a benchmark for measuring the economic performance and the overall city feel of Two Rivers? We'll start with you, Mark, as well.
You know, I've really not thought, I think more specifically of industries, objectives, goals, and businesses. But what I would do is I guess I would look at a random base of cities that are our size that are experiencing growth in population, safety and crime rates, quality of living standards that are high, and I would copy things that they're doing that we're perhaps overlooking. I learned that one of the greatest things in the world is to copy somebody else's business that is doing well. It's an easy thing to follow. We could do that too by copying other city policies that make sense and are working for that community. But we have a lot of things that I think we have already started and we could continue to build on and be even more successful in our own community.
Thank you, Mark. We'll go to Doug.
That's kind of a difficult question. I think a similar city, possibly that lost a large business, comes to mind. Brilliant. They lost the iron works there. Granted, they still have errands. Not the same type of work, but similar. do some research on that to see what other cities are similar. I know Denmark has some good industry up there. Yeah, I'm not sure. I'd have to take a look into that.
Thank you, Doug. Jeff?
The one city that comes off the top of my mind would be Cedarburg. We focus on tourism here an awful lot, and they do an outstanding job in Cedarburg of keeping business there, of when there is new spots to come up to be sold. They do a good job of filling them. Cedarburg would be the one place that I would probably look at, just because they are so tourist focused, and they do a very good job. Kathy and I lived there for 3 years, and it was a nice city. Just like here, minus the water, but I mean, they focus so much on the tourism that they really succeeded, and I wouldn't be afraid to sit down with some of them people and say, hey, how are you doing it? How can we do it? Because they're going from Milwaukee, they'll stop in Cedarburg. Chicago, they'll stop in Cedarburg. They need another stop on the way to Sturgeon Bay because basically that's where they're going. Get them to stop here and stay here and spend money here. It can be done, but I think that would be my focus city, would be to try and talk to those city leaders there and find out how they're doing and what they're doing.
Thank you, Jeff. Shannon?
Looking for cities of similar size and demographics is obviously something that, with the success rate with their local businesses, is something that we should be doing. And I hope that other communities look at our community and say, what is Two Rivers doing right? How did they get more business into a community that had more empty storefronts than actual storefronts? When I was devastated when Evans went out of business, that was my favorite childhood store, but we have a thrift shop there now, and a lot of the businesses that were sitting empty for a long time have new life. So I hope other communities look at us as one of the flagship places to be and to copy. And I'm kind of with Doug, because I would need to look into this a lot more as for what city council could actually do, aside from sitting down with other community leaders, which I would be happy to do, to collaborate with them and brainstorm some great ideas. But I would definitely need to look into it a lot more than I have for tonight, because I was not prepared for that. But I do think that Two Rivers has done a great job, and that we should be considered when other places are looking for what have we done right, how can we emulate what Two Rivers has done. So thank you.
Thank you, Shannon. And finally, Andrew.
I think that we should do an amalgamation of what Sheboygan is doing and what like Sturgeon Bay is doing. Something that focuses on tourism and something that has a lot of manufacturing industry. So I know we don't have the manufacturing in Two Rivers itself, but we are really close to Manitowoc. Just 15 minutes. So we could use a lot of the same tactics, I guess, that Sheboygan uses, and at the same time focus on our tourism, our small businesses, trying to develop them into medium-sized businesses and maybe even larger businesses as time goes on with the tourism, and using our natural resources, which Door County, obviously, they capitalize on that all the time. But thank you very much.
Thank you, Andrew. As we move towards wrapping up this evening, we have one more question for all of the candidates, and it's probably our most important question of the night. It's sunny and 75 on a Saturday in July. How are you spending that day in Two Rivers? And we can start with Andrew. Or no, Doug has to make him start. Feel free.
Wow. Sunny, 75.
On a Saturday in July.
Saturday in July. Well, I don't know, but I'd probably put the convertible top down on my car and go for a drive out through the state forest for starters. But I really enjoy, we have a lot of bicycling adventures. The trails around here are great. I would probably do some of that, maybe swing through the beach. We've taken a carafe of coffee on our bikes and gone down to, by the riverfront and just enjoyed the sunrise. pretty simple things, but Two Rivers really lends itself to a very enjoyable outdoor time. 75 is getting a little hot. Yeah, that's pretty much what I do. Maybe, you know, swing through the beach. We like to do that on our bikes too, and just kind of hang out. So, thanks.
Thank you, Doug. We'll pass it down to Mark, and then we'll head down the other way.
Saturday, 75 and sunny. The first thing I would do is make sure I have what we're going to grill out ready to be grilled out later in the course of the day. I guarantee I love water, I love hiking, I love the outdoors. We would probably either be out canoeing or we would be on one of the hiking trails. And I'd be trying to get my wife to slow down and realize how beautiful it is here and let our minds absorb nature, because you get out on any of our hiking trails in our community, it's a gift. I really like the ones that go up along the beach towards the Beach State Park. I'm fascinated by the history of our wrecks and things, and I have dreams of maybe someday seeing one of the wrecks, and or coming across on the shores and walking up as a lifeboat or something that floated up from one of these wrecks so I can be part of history too, like Susie Johnson who discovered those. We have a great community. If we don't have an event, that would be the alternative I pursue. We usually religiously go to these events because they're fun. It's neat to walk around, see people, get involved in the events, whether it's at Rogers Street Fishing or Ethnic Festival or Beach Bash or other activities. We have an abundance of things to do, so no one should be sitting bored at home, and you don't have to spend a lot of money to benefit from our community. That's the neat thing about it. It's a great place to live, Two Rivers.
Thank you, Mark. And Jeff?
75 and sunny on a Saturday. I would imagine probably pick up the grandkids in the morning. I'm sure they're gonna wanna go for ice cream at some point because God, those kids love ice cream. Probably split off, and my granddaughter would probably go with Kathy, and I would probably take the boys fishing because they both like to fish. The 3-year-old's getting into it. And I'm sure Kathy would take my granddaughter shopping because she likes shopping more than ice cream, and she really likes ice cream. So that's probably what would happen with that. And then later on in the day, get back, we'd probably hang out by the river for a while, probably have a bonfire for a while. Drop the kids off, probably go to dinner, and then go and stop around town and talk to people.
Thank you, Jeff. Shannon?
75, sunny, in Two Rivers. What's the relative humidity?
Might be a little technical.
Because that will decide if I'm going from business to business that have air conditioning, or if I'm going to be out on the hiking trails with my dog, or not my daughter's dog, because that's a long story. I have an elderly dog, so he can't really walk. My daughter just adopted a dog, so she can walk. So definitely on the hiking trails. I love being outside. I love exploring the Ice Age Trail. Point Beach is one of my favorite places. Even just in the whole county with different outdoor, like Maribel Caves, it's fun to be in and hike through. So just being outdoors is something I do enjoy if it's not 80 and super humid. And I do enjoy just hanging around in my backyard and talking with my neighbors and just enjoying a sunny day in Two Rivers. Thank you.
Thank you, Shannon. Andrew?
So our kids are pretty much in control in the summertime. We're gonna start, my son loves fishing. He is the only one. So we will spend about an hour doing that. Well, I will spend an hour untangling lines for the other two. When everybody is complained enough that mom says it's time to go, we will probably go to the beach where they are insatiable, and we will stay out there until everybody is about burnt. We'll then follow that up with getting ice cream sundaes, and then finding one of the places to eat. We eat a lot out on Saturdays. We like to mix it up. Waverly for burgers, Sandy Bay for pizza, but we like to move it around.
Awesome. Thank you, Andrew. Thank you to all of the candidates. As we wrap up, we would love to give each candidate 2 minutes for some closing remarks. And we'll start on the same end with Andrew.
Well, I am hoping I learned a lot this evening. Some of these questions I was not completely prepared for. The other forums did not have the exact same ones, but I appreciate everybody's time and the ability to get a chance to address you all. We love it here, and I would like nothing more than to serve the community in any way possible. My biggest goal would be, if elected, is really to be a voice for people. I know everybody says, they're not heard enough, but I've gotten a lot of communication just via Facebook from people on all sides, both sides of the aisle and different viewpoints, and it's eye-opening. But I think that everybody has the same goal, is they want to see this community thrive and be the best it possibly can. I'm hoping that I can facilitate that in some manner, and I appreciate you for your time. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Shannon.
So thank you all for being here tonight. I appreciate it. We all appreciate it. These forums, I think they get it a little bit easier when we've done a couple of them now. They're not quite as nerve-wracking as they were. So I have my bachelor's degree in leadership. I chose to come back to this community to raise my 3 kids and work at the school district as a sign language interpreter. I continued to stay here after that job was done, and I still work in the area at VT, like I said earlier. I've gone to the White House Summit for Working Families out in Washington, D.C. I've been to the candidate boot camp through my union. I have also been through leadership programs, and I am active in the community here at the Senior Center for handing out the Thanksgiving meals. I'll be here on Easter. I'm a member of the Environmental Advisory Board, so I am very involved in this community, and I'm very dedicated to its growth and success. I look forward to your vote on April 2nd. Thank you.
Thank you, Shannon. Jeff?
If reelected, I'll just keep on keeping on as I have been. Just keep answering questions when people call me, bringing everything up to council, no matter how big or small. Help businesses, help the individuals, talk to people. That's my biggest thing. Talk to people. Never be afraid to contact me. I will always listen. I will always respond, and I will continue to do that. I will continue to be the voice of the people and the business. I am not afraid to stand up, and even if everybody disagrees with me, I will still talk. People need to be heard. I would really like to get the misconception out there that you're not being heard, and truly people are. I understand that people don't want to go to city council meetings. That's where we come into play. Email us, text us, call us. The calls are not a big deal. I enjoy that, actually. It's nice going out, even when I'm out going shopping and people are stopping at the grocery store. This is bothering me, that's bothering me. I don't have an issue with that. People feel like they're bothering me, but they are not bothering me one bit. It's what I wanted to do, that's why I ran for council. And I will keep doing that, and I will keep being your voice.
Thank you, Jeff. Doug?
Thanks. So I'm running for council. I am very proud of our community. We've come a long way in the last few years, and I think we can keep her going and foster new growth and, hopefully bring in some new residents with our developments coming up. Because at the end of the day, the bottom line, we want our children and our grandchildren to be as proud of this community as we are. And I want to bring a positive attitude, some fresh and innovative ideas, hopefully, to the city, and just continue the growth that we've started and make it a great place to live. Thanks.
Thank you, Doug. And Mark?
All great points so far. What I'd like to do is continue on city council and further drive forward some of the things that previously were developed. The strategic plan for the city, important component, there's 6 key ingredients there that if we rifle down and develop that, it would help us a lot. And I would like to bring new ideas and develop new things to get things done. Like my idea, I'd like to add a new committee. That committee would be something like the Footprint for Growth. the key opportunities of strategic value that would implement and move our city forward, where we could look at it once a month. It's time consuming being on city council, and you always sometimes don't get to develop those, or give a committee a chance to focus on those key objectives the committee would bring forward, and the city council would add, and we review it at every work session. So we are continually working towards objectives to make progress with the city. It's a great place to live. I love the community. Both Betty and I are very active in the community, in a number of activities, and I just have the time. I think I have an experience level and background in business and marketing where I'd like to continue to provide my services. I have no agenda for any objectives beyond this. I just want to continue to make Two Rivers a great place. Explore Two Rivers, I think, went a long ways. We copied a lot of good ideas from other cities. Jeff mentioned Cedarburg. That was one of the benchmarks we used to explore Two Rivers. So we've got a great future. Let's just continue to keep the momentum going forward. Mark Bittner, I'm not afraid to talk to anyone. And again, my number is 920-242-6724. In case you don't see me out in the streets, stop me if you do. Call me if you have any ideas. Thank you.
Thank you, Mark. Thank you to all of the candidates. Thank you for everybody in attendance tonight and everybody watching at home. Thank you to the Two Rivers Community House and their gracious use of the technology tonight. Thank you for TRBA for helping to put on this forum this evening. That is the end of our candidate forum for the night. I invite you all, if you'd like, to come stick around, mingle, and ask any other questions that you may have, any burning issues that you may have for any of the candidates. Thank you, everyone, and have a great night.